Hey guys, I wanted to share a few tips with you on how to be a great trainer and business coach and develop strong leaders in your organization, in your Plexus business. Because one of the questions I get asked most often is, how do I know what my people need from me as a leader? How can I help my people reach their goals? So the first thing I want to say is, I don't really have a system for training people. The closest thing we have, like if you're looking for something that is like, what do people need at this level kind of thing, would be the Rank Up Roadmap. I think that's a great resource. So as a leader, you should check that out because it's going to have talking points that you can go by if you're wanting to know what people need at a certain level, silver, gold, or whatever. So I think the most important thing is, first of all, become a student of this profession, because if you're not adding value to yourself, you can't add value to others. If you don't know something yourself, there's no way you can teach it to other people. So that's the first thing. You need to be watching training videos yourself every single day. The second thing is talk to people. You just have to talk to them, and I mean on the phone. Voice messages are good too. Like, you should be doing that every day, especially with a newbie. But there's a lot of things that are not going to be said through a text message or a voice message. And so you really do need to be talking to people on the phone. And I think that it's important to keep in mind that when you're dealing with things, you can try to be efficient. But when you're dealing with people, you have to be effective. There's no such thing as being efficient when it comes to people. This is not something that can be rushed. Developing people and talking to people, especially your workers who are trying to grow a business, is the most time-intensive thing in your business. And it's also going to be the one thing that gives you the biggest return, is developing people and helping them reach their goals. And I'm not talking about dragging anybody along. I'm not talking about somebody who says they want this, but they're not willing to do the work, or they're not being coachable. I am assuming that you have someone who is wanting to work this business and they have the drive and they have the mindset in place, and all they need is the skill set. Mindset is going to have to be a different video. I think also it's important to keep in mind that as a leader, that this business is 80% mindset and only 20% skill set. And I could talk for hours about mindset, but this video in particular is just going to be about the skill set. Okay, so we're assuming that you have someone who says, okay, I'm interested in growing a business with Plexus. I want to get my products paid for, or I would like to make an extra $1,000 a month, or I want to be a diamond. Okay, whatever their goals are, you have someone who they believe they can achieve their goal. Whatever their goal is, no matter how small, they're not struggling with the mindset issue, and they're ready to work. All they need is you to tell them what to do. Okay, so how do you know what to tell them to do? First of all, there's only a few things in this business that people have to master in order to be a jewel. Okay, and we call it the 4 pillars. So when you're talking to people, you're listening for one of these 4 things that they need more training on, or they need to work on in their business. First of all, recruiting. Okay, that's step 1. You have to learn how to recruit if you're going to grow a business. You have to learn how to talk to people about Plexus. So if they're not getting joins, or if they're just getting started and they need to learn how to get joins, then they watch training about how to recruit. So that means anything you can send them about what to say when they reach out to people, like basically how to get a conversation started, how to bring it up, how to follow up, how to handle objections, how to close the deal. Any training you can get them about how to become a great recruiter, that is where people have to start. They have to master recruiting before they do anything else. Okay, so in other words, you're not going to start talking about leadership development if they haven't learned how to even get people on the products yet. Okay, so it starts with recruiting. If you see that they're getting joins, the second thing they need to learn is retention. How to retain their people, how to not just be a good enroller, but also a good sponsor, how to provide really good customer service, help their people get great results, and things like that. So that means 4 touches in 30 days. That means getting them in the team page and welcoming them in there. That means setting up a 3-way chat with the sponsor if they haven't already. If they're interested in growing a business, get them on a 3-way call with your upline. So all the things about how to retain people, how to educate them on detox and why that's important, and celebrate, if there's any detox, things like that. Basically just training them. Okay, you have some people now. Here's what to do with them. Here's how to help them get great results. Here's how to provide great customer service. Here's how to make sure everybody has their subscriptions on and is going to be consistent with their products, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the second thing you want to train people on how to master is retaining, because the last thing you want is somebody working really hard to get all the joins and lose them as quick as they get them. You have to train people on how to retain, and we have unlimited resources to do that, okay? So again, this goes back to adding value to yourself first so that you can add value to your team members. If you are a student of this profession, then you're going to know exactly what resources to send them. So when you're talking to them on the phone, it's not necessarily, oh, let me train them and tell them everything they need to know. It's, let me ask some good questions to figure out which of these 4 pillars they need more information on. And then I know as a leader, because I've already watched the videos and I've already read the resources myself, I know which ones they need. Okay, does that make sense? The third pillar is duplication. So they need to learn how to recruit. They need to learn how to retain. They need to know how to create business builders. Okay, duplication is the key to growing a huge organization and earning yourself financial freedom in Plexus. Duplication is everything. It's the magic word in network marketing. They have to learn the skill of how to create business builders. So if you notice that they're getting joins, people are reordering, and they're not having anybody share about the products, so basically if they're duplicating, you're going to see things like they have level 2s, maybe even level 3s. If they are duplicating, they are going to have people go silver on their team, things like that. If you don't see any of those things happening, then you know what training they need then. They need to learn how to create business builders. They need to know that business builders are not found, they're made, and they have to learn the skill of how to do that. It is a skill that can be learned, okay? It's not something that just automatically happens. It's not like, oh, let me go find my magic rock star and recruit until I find my magic rock star. No. Business builders are created. They're not found, okay? So duplication is the third thing, and probably the most important, I would even dare to say, because you can't build huge organization without duplication. Got to be able to create business builders if you want to climb to the leadership levels in the company. All right, and then the fourth thing is leadership development. So everybody needs to be developing themselves as leaders. If you want financial freedom, then you have to be a great leader, okay? Because if you can recruit well, if you're a good salesperson, then you can supplement your income. But if you're a good leader, you can earn financial freedom. So leadership development is absolutely crucial. If they're telling you, I want to be a jewel, I want to go to Hawaii, I want a Lexus, I want a 6-figure income, whatever the case may be, if that's what their goal is, then they are going to have to do some leadership development. One of my favorite quotes in the world is, if you work really hard at your job, you can make a living. But if you work really hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. And I find that to be so true. So leadership development would be things like reading books on leadership, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I've read it 4 times, and I've been through it with my team 3 times. 5 Levels of Leadership. Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. That's actually our next book study. So, but look at the 4 pillars. So as you're talking to people, you just kind of asking questions and just looking for things like in their business. Where are they at in their business? Are they enrolling people? If they're not enrolling people, what's the issue here? Like, are they not doing enough IPA? Are they not talking to enough people? Or is it something that they might be saying? Because it could be that they're puking Plexus on people. It could be a lot of things. So you have to, as a leader, learn to ask good questions. Because if they have goals and they're not reaching them, then you got to kind of troubleshoot and figure out why. So what's the issue? What's the biggest challenge they're facing in their business right now? Are they recruiting people but not retaining? Are they recruiting and retaining but they don't have anybody interested in the business? And maybe they're recruiting, retaining, and they have some silvers, but in order to get from senior gold to ruby, they got to do some leadership development, or from ruby to emerald or whatever, they got to do some leadership development. So hope this helps you guys. It really is just that simple. The 4 pillars: talking to people who are interested in working in business and asking good questions.